Hey everyone, how you guys doing tonight? Thank you for joining me for this credit kickoff. Make sure as you come in, let me know where you are watching from. It helps me to kind of direct my information towards the regions that really need this credit information. And tonight we're going to do things just a little bit differently. As you can see tonight, Diamond is not joining me. I had to record this a little bit earlier and I will be back here live in person next week. Unfortunately, I had a family member that passed away. And so this Saturday, that would be today, I had to attend the funeral. So I would not have been able to go live. But I wanted to make sure that I keep the motivation for you for the credit kickoff. So I am going to give you some tips on how to increase your credit score. And tonight we are going to focus on collections. Now, here's some of the tips that you really need to focus on when it comes down to collections. You must be very aware of not paying collections and just jumping the gun. So, understand collection companies, sometimes they could be, if they're in that window of that 180 days or even 6 months in, may be working and contracting with the original creditor. Let's say if it's a medical bill and they might been hired as an outside company. And so they're working for the collector and they're going to get paid by what they can recoup on and they get their commission. But many collection agencies are what's called third party, meaning they actually bought the debt. Now, with those third parties, they're at a little weaker standing, okay, with third party collectors. So, with third parties, they need to show they actually have a legal right to collect on the debt, because how do you owe them if they never gave you a service, which is, if we use the hospital analogy that I used, they weren't the hospital to provide you care. So why do I owe you? Or even if you had bought a product like with Victoria's Secrets, some lingerie, they're not the one that issued the credit, their company, and I got the product from. So why do I have to pay you? So how do you actually distinguish the difference? And this is very important and what I want to talk about tonight on this credit kickoff. And with my elite credit system, many people are getting great results. Like this user, Greg, was able to remove his collection within 12 days. So you can use these strategies. And with my AI software, it imports your credit reports and actually find all the errors in the reporting. And I do my actual coaching with you to help you on Saturdays to help with your individual issue. And then I can see it and go more in depth with you and make it more personalized. But if you are a person that want to take away some tips, the first tip that you need to do is to understand how do they have a legal right to collect on this debt, and if they even have a legal right to collect on this debt. So one thing you want to focus on is calling to make sure that they even are owed a debt. So in the example of when we're dealing with the medical care facility, did your insurance company already pay them out? There are many times where these companies will get your information and just start telling you you owe them a debt that you don't even owe. And so in that case, your insurance company may have already paid that medical provider. So if you're looking and seeing that you have a collection due to a medical bill, you may have already had that paid for and there's nothing even owed. And this company could have gotten your information and just start reporting this collection on your credit report, or even reaching out to you with a letter trying to collect. And what happens is, if you pay that company, you are agreeing to do business with them. And even worse, when they call you on the phone, they try to make you believe that they're working for that company. And they may say, so and so medical center, don't you owe that? And if you start agreeing to pay them over the phone, now you're binding a verbal contract, just like in a marriage. So you may say, I do in front of the preacher, but it's going to take you a court and a judge to get you out of that marriage situation because it was a verbal agreement. It's a court process to get a divorce. So it's the same way with this situation. You do not want to agree to anything and talk to them over the phone. Even by when they ask you, I want to verify this is you, your name, and this, and they're trying to gather information so they can start reporting that information or sending that debt collection letter to you. So you don't want to do that with them. Now, if you didn't know, when it comes to medical collections, anything under a $500 bill, they should not be reporting on your credit reports if you pay that bill. You can pay it and they're not allowed to report it for a year, was the prior rules. But now the CFPB is actually pushing forth to remove all medical bills from reporting on your credit report. So that is good news. It should be rolling out now. I haven't seen an exact date, but they did push for this month of January. So that would give a lot of you guys relief. But you can use that medical bill example even for your consumer debt. They will try to get you to negotiate over the phone for that same purpose. So you don't want to do that. They're trying to bind a verbal agreement. So you want to make sure the debt is owed and you don't want to pay them because where's their legal right to collect on the debt? And I just did a video. There are many scams that's going out there. There's companies calling you and even draining people bank accounts by sending you agreements or a written statement via email with a clickable link and all this other stuff. So you got to watch out that you're not being scammed. And if this even is a legal company, they can still be lying. And Portfolio Recovery Services had just gotten fined by the CFPB for the same tactic. They were even taking people to court, you guys, for collections that were time barred. So that's the other part you need to look at this. Is that debt past the legal time that it can even be collected on from anybody, your original creditor, whoever, because in your state, they might only have 2 years in order to file that lawsuit to pursue that debt. And now it's been 4 years, but they were still filing lawsuits against people, even when that debt was time barred and was past the statute of limitations to collect. So you want to make sure that you check your statute of limitations on your collections in your own individual state. And if you're being sued, you need to talk to an attorney in your state immediately. Do not ignore that because they can garnish your pay. They can drain your bank account by putting a levy and take the money that they say they're being owed. And they can even put liens on your property. So you don't want that to stay on you. In states like New Jersey, it stays on you with a judgment for 20 years. Then they can renew it even after that 20 years and it stay another 20 years. So that's a total of 40 years. Now that varies state by state, but you want to make sure that you're talking to an attorney and you're challenging it. And you can use services like Legal Shield. I'll leave the link of Legal Shield in that video, in this video here, because with Legal Shield, it's like discount kind of legal services that you can pay like $35 a month, but you're going to talk to an attorney. You can send over that summons and let them read it, and they can write back a response. But you want to talk to that attorney on how to answer that summons, okay? Because if you just let it sit, they could just get a judgment for you not showing up. So you don't want that to happen, okay? So you want to make sure that you answer that complaint, and then you can fight it to see if it's even true. These companies lie about interest, all kinds of things, slap on fees. And where's the proof that they even bought this debt? If you bought it, where's the chain of sale. They just sell these debts all the time, and they just send paper. But where's the proof you even bought it? You might have just got my information. And in my recent video, I showed that this is a string of collection companies, and some are scamming, but it doesn't mean that you owe that debt. So if you want to check out that with the news clip, check that out. But be very careful, you guys, with all of this when it comes to collections. Collections is one of the number one issues that people have on their credit reports. It's like 1 out of 3 people have a collection. So you want to handle that because it can cost you like from 25 to 50 points on your credit on average. But if you have an even higher credit score, initially you can see a huge drop in your credit score from a collection. Now, one other thing collections will do is start to hit you every month with CO, like it's in collection. They should not be reporting like that, because if they are reporting like that, how do I owe you every month for this collection? How? When I never did business with you, where would it be a schedule even set up that we have a monthly payment? Where is the original contract? So if it's in collections, that means it was written off and there's no expectation for a monthly payment. It's already in collections. So you want to demand even from them the original contract. Does that original contract even give the legal right to the original creditor to sell that debt? You needed to agree with that. Even did you have my original application? Because even with your application, if you're applying for credit, did they offer something totally different than what I received? Did I believe I was getting 0% interest for 24 months when you really only gave me 6 months of 0% interest? So you also want to demand the whole payment history on that account. And with that, you can do this with a debt validation letter. So you would send that debt validation letter directly to the collection company, certified mail, and do not sign it. Do not, because they can take your signature and impose it on a contract. So you send it to them and you want proof that they have a legal right to collect on that debt. And many of them will send you back a bill with the other company name, but that does not constitute proof that they have a right to collect on that debt. We all have bills. You know, I have a light bill right now, and you can't show up to my house showing me my light bill and telling me, pay me the balance of this light bill. Where is your right to collect on the debt? So they do this all the time. So you want to send a debt validation letter. That is your right under the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, and that is a federal law. So that's not state by state. That's a blanket law, and they must show where they have a right to collect on that debt. And you guys, if it's in that 30-day window when they are asking you to validate, to give you that opportunity to validate that debt, if they don't respond, then they can't put that on your credit report. Now, if you pass that 30 days and it's on your credit report, you still have a right to ask for debt validation. So don't think it's too late, except if they are suing you, you don't want to now think that this debt validation can slow this up. You need to talk to an attorney because they're actively trying to collect, and they're using your local court to do that, civil court. And it depends on your state, the variations of the steps you need to take, because that is on your court rules and your statutory law, meaning your state law. So you need to talk to an attorney. And that time is no longer credit, your main issue. They're trying to actively pursue you and collect from you and take it by force. So send them a debt validation letter. Now, if you guys have any questions or comments, if you need help, leave your questions here in this video, and then I can reply and answer your questions. But if you need my personal help, you always have my elite credit system. Those links will be in the description of this video. And also for the legal services, if you need that, that link will be there too. And if you need any of my other products that is free, like my hard inquiry removal package, you can get that by the link in the download. In this credit kickoff, we have a free Facebook group for you, so you can join that, and that link will be below. So I will see you guys next week for the credit kickoff, and I will be live and I will be here to answer all your questions. So have a safe weekend, and you guys try to stay warm. Those in California, if you're going through those fires, my prayers are with you and your family. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.